We begin tonight with breaking news. WFAA has confirmed the person suspected of shooting students inside that high school just turned himself in.
4 students are being treated for non-life-threatening injuries tonight at 2 hospitals in Dallas.
And officials have canceled classes at Wilmer-Hutchins High School the rest of this week. It's in southeast Dallas, right near I-20 and Langdon Road. And this is the second time in a year there's been a shooting at that school.
Earlier tonight, police searched several locations for the suspect, and they've been investigating how the weapon got inside the school. All students in the building were reunited with parents and guardians by 5 p.m. We've had reporters covering this story from the moment we heard the active shooter call.
Let's start with Cindy Persing with the major developments in the past hour.
Well, Chris, Izzy, as you mentioned, in the last hour, we know that suspect turned himself in here at the Lucerne jail on Commerce Street behind me. We do know from the DISD police chief that that suspect is a student at the high school. We are still working to confirm his identity right now. We do know, though, from our sources that he is charged with aggravated assault. That suspect turning himself in, that news comes after a nearly 8-hour-long search for him. And while that search has come to an end, there are still so many questions about how and why this happened, and so many families still dealing with the trauma from today.
Tuesday in Dallas, it happened again.
Everything happened so fast.
Students heard it again.
We heard a few gunshots, saw a few students run in, heard a few screams.
Police ran toward it again.
So many polices, and it was ambulances over here.
And parents felt it again.
I was about to pass out because my son was screaming and hollering like he was in a range of fire.
3 students we now know were shot inside Wilmer-Hutchins High School. 1 more grazed by a bullet.
So I don't have any information regarding what led up to the shooting.
Police also would not reveal how the gun got inside, but did say it did not come through regular intake when students passed through metal detectors.
It was not a failure of our staff, of our protocols, or of the machinery that we have.
In an earlier interview, the deputy mayor told WFAA someone let the suspect in through a side door.
Quite frankly, this is just becoming way too familiar, and it should not be familiar.
The superintendent acknowledged what so many already know. This is familiar, not just in our country or in our city, but at this school. There was another shooting at Wilmer-Hutchins a year ago this week.
It's really scary because this isn't the first time it happened.
And the people who lived this on Tuesday again have no reason to trust it will be the last.
It's very bad that we have to keep going through this. It's sad.
And again, that search lasted nearly 8 hours. It spanned several cities from Dallas to Waxahachie. Our Matt Howerton was following developments all throughout the day, and he joins us now live. Matt.
Yes, Sydney, we've been following police from Dallas to Waxahachie across the Metroplex, actually, as they started the hunt for this young man. WFAA sources say that the suspect had planned to turn himself in earlier in the evening at a substation in Dallas, but never showed up. Then police came to a home behind me in Waxahachie in a neighborhood along 287, thinking that the suspect might be here at a family member's home, but no luck. And then obviously just before we came on the air, we learned that the suspect had turned himself in at the Dallas County Jail. Police still here, though, at this home that they arrived at earlier in the night. Dallas ISD police also on scene. They just showed up here shortly ago. When we got here, neighbors approaching us, sharing that it's been a wild afternoon, showing us photos they took of SWAT team members surrounding that house they're at now when they did, in fact, think that the suspect might be here. Heavy police gear on those officers, but no luck finding the suspect, as we mentioned. Yet officers, they never left, and we're told by sources that they've been working a search warrant at this home connected to the suspect, as we mentioned, a family member's home of the suspect, and all this very fresh and very sudden for those living in this neighborhood.
It's always been quiet here. That's why I moved here. I was in Irving. I moved out here because it was a lot quieter and a lot safer out here. But now I don't know what to think now since this is going on.
Not here, not in this neighborhood. So it was very alarming, very scary. Not, especially with our school being right in our backyard, very frightening.
And as we mentioned, DISD police just arriving to this home before we came on the air. It's likely that they are in the early stages of building their case against the suspect now that he has been captured. In Waxahachie, I'm Matt Howerton.
And again, some of these same families rushed to Wilmer-Hutchins on April 12th of last year. In that case, another 17-year-old student bypassed the school's security measures and got a gun in the building. He shot a classmate in the leg and tried to escape, but police quickly caught him near the school. Authorities told us the metal detector did go off when the student passed through, but staff members failed to properly search his bag.
Governor Abbott is in contact with local officials right now and released a statement on the shooting. He says, quote, "Our hearts go out to the victims of this senseless act of violence at Wilmer-Hutchins High School." Now, I spoke with Dallas ISD Superintendent Stephanie Elizalde and Dallas ISD Chief Albert Martinez. I offered to support the school district families, students, and staff, and to provide law enforcement with the tools they need to arrest the criminals involved and bring them to justice.
Down in Austin, state lawmakers paused for a moment of silence shortly after the shooting. Aisha Davis represents the district that includes Wilmer-Hutchins and spoke on the House floor.
Humbly ask for prayers for those students, the families, the staff at the schools, the first responders, and everybody else who's going to be affected by this.
After Representative Davis's words, legislators and guests in the gallery stood for a moment of silence. You can count on us to stay on top of this story overnight. Our Daybreak team will be working to get more information on the suspect's arrest and update you tomorrow at 5 a.m. And we invite you to watch more of our coverage, including that news conference from Dallas ISD on WFAA+. Download our free streaming app to your TV and start watching from home.